Welcome to my next Better Call Saul Season 5 episode review video. Before I get into that, though, pretty important, if you aren't caught up to the point where I am, or rewatching or watching Better Call Saul, or you're just not entirely sure, then you definitely need to take the initiative and pay attention to the episode's title, which of course I'll mention, as well as put in the description. If that happens to be the case, you find that you're not caught up, it would be my recommendation that you don't watch this detailed review any further to avoid any potential spoilers. And full disclosure here, I've already seen Better Call Saul all the way through one time. In fact, I actually did Better Call Saul Season 6 review videos when Season 6 was airing when it was airing live. So if you want to jump ahead a bit and you've seen all the episodes already, you can click right here with about 20 seconds left to go in the video. That will be the end screen and the link to my Better Call Saul Season 6 playlist. And of course, I'll put my Breaking Bad playlist right there with all my episode reviews, characters ranked, episodes of the series ranked, and seasons ranked if you want to check out all the wonderful stuff that was Breaking Bad. But I'm a pretty big fan of the show. It's one of my favorite shows of all time. I would say definitely in the top 10, might even be in the top 6. I want to rewatch the show to let it resonate some more, as I kind of binged it the first time until I got caught up with the new episodes. So I want to take my time with it. So with all that said, this will be Better Call Saul, Season 5, Episode 2. The title of this episode is called 50% Off, and this will be my review reaction recap after just finishing watch the episode. We start with two tweakers who previously had attended Saul Goodman's promotional burner phone sale go out on a drug-induced crime spree throughout the city. And then in the morning they wake up after passing out behind the wheel of a car which has crashed into the mailbox of a suburban home. The two remark that it's Tuesday, which means 50% off, and they race off in their car. The camera pans out to reveal a garden gnome the two had stolen broken on the road. Nacho is asleep with Joe in bed next to him. All of a sudden, some men led by Tyrus burst into his house, and and before he can grab a gun or escape, they pin him down and bring him to the car. They head to the restaurant where Nacho's father is, where he watches as Gustavo Fring and Victor threaten him. Gus gets into the car and tells Nacho that Lalo Salamanca is a problem and that he will have to find a way to earn his trust and sabotage the operation from the inside. Jimmy apologizes for taking up her half of the closet space to Kim with his suits, and that he'll be storing them at Day Spa Nail when Jimmy eventually. And when Jimmy asks about Bobby, she tells him that he took the 5-month deal, which surprises him. As Kim is about to drive to work, Jimmy unexpectedly gets into the passenger seat and requests to show her something for just a few minutes. They drive to an open house, but Kim is apprehensive as she feels it's too early for him to buy a home, but she reassures him that she really likes it. While viewing one of the spacious rooms in the house, Kim abruptly informs Jimmy that she doesn't want him to scam her clients, which Jimmy agrees. He also confesses that he created a 50% off deal for legal services against her advice, but eventually charms her over by showing her the house's walk-in closet and then multi-shower head system, which Kim playfully uses to get Jimmy soaked. This gets them kicked out by the realtor with Kim, and then she's kind of thinking about Jimmy's homeowning ambitions. Lalo Salamanca visits his uncle Hector Salamanca at the nursing home Casa Tranquila, I don't remember exactly what it's called, something like that, and discusses Gus's mystery new construction project. Lalo doesn't buy Gus's cover story about building a new chicken refrigeration facility and expresses disapproval that Juan Bolsa and Don Eladio believe Gus. An elder care worker reminds Lalo to keep Hector Salamanca hydrated and hands him a fruit-flavored drink. Lalo dumps some of it and adds liquor from his hip flask into the drink and serves it to Hector Salamanca. Lalo tastes the drink and adds more liquor to it. Mike wakes up at his home after what looks like a night of heavy drinking. He receives a call from Stacy Ermintrout, who tells him that she needs him to watch Kaylee that very day since she has to work. Stacy also tells Mike that Kaylee needs to do her homework before she helps him build the backyard treehouse. Mike and Kaylee review the multiplication table by relating multiples of 7 to football scores. However, the conversation inadvertently leads to Kaylee commenting on how her dad, Matt, was a Philadelphia Eagles fan, and quickly dovetails into a uncomfortable conversation about what he was like a kid. She also assumes that Mike taught Matt how to be a good officer. Reaching a tipping point, Mike lashes at Kaylee about not placing the grips on the treehouse stairs correctly, and then he tells her that she's done. You're done, causing Kaylee to run back into the house. That night when Stacy gets back home, Mike tells her that she was in her room all day and she hadn't eaten dinner yet, and refuses to elaborate on what had happened. And then we go back to those same two tweakers. They come back to the 5th Street apartment looking for more cocaine, this time ordering 10 bags rather than their usual 2. And then they send up the 10 bags down the rain gutter, but they appear to be stuck. All 3 yell back and forth, demanding that they get their products since they already paid one of the guys. And then across town, Lalo, Nacho, and company are at Nacho's house playing poker. Lalo bluffs with 7-2 offsuit, the worst possible starting hand in poker. And then one of the guys has a pair of 8s with a 8 on the table, giving him a set. And Lalo actually said, "Let me see what you had," and turned over his cards. Now that's not allowed. You're not supposed to see what the other person had, unless of course they show you what they have. But when Lalo bets big on the river, that's when the guy folds. And then Lalo shows that he had a terrible hand, and then after looking at the guy's cards, he says he's crazy for folding and calls him Ocho Loco, Spanish for crazy 8, giving birth to his future criminal nickname. So that's interesting revelation that Lalo Salamanca gave Crazy 8 his nickname. And then we have Domino gets a call from one of the Crazy 8 gets a call from one of the 5th Street dealers saying that there's a problem. He arrives at the scene and climbs onto the ladder in order to clear the blockage. Unfortunately for Domino, Crazy 8, a police car shows up and the 4 others run off, leaving Crazy 8, Domino, stranded on top of the ladder. Police officer walk onto the scene and one asks him what he's doing, to which he replies he was fixing the gutter. After tapping on it once more, Domino inadvertently causes the cocaine packets to finally fall out of the chute. That sucks. We have Lalo, Nacho, and company sit in Lalo's car and watch from a safe distance as police prepare to raid the house stash. Lalo asks if they were able to save any of the product before the cops came, but they were told that it was left behind. Nacho, remembering Gus' request to gain Lalo's trust, boldly decides to take matters into his own hands by climbing onto the roof of an adjacent building, then jumping onto another where the gang has their product stored. The others watch tensely, with Lalo eating a snack as the SWAT team lines up outside the door and prepares to breach it. Nacho climbs in through the roof and salvages several bags of the product before jumping out through a window just as the reinforced door is breached. He surprises the trio by getting back to the car and showing the bags. Lalo commends his actions in salvaging the gang's supply. Jimmy uses his newfound energy to finesse and sweet-talk his way through the courthouse. He prepares for a monologue to give before ADA Susan Erickson, but instead he encounters ADA Bill Oakley, who is unimpressed by the film crew's candid interview or candid camera-like stunt the last time they met, and refuses to budge on a sentencing deal for one of Jimmy's clients. In a long shot scene, he speaks to a clerk and some clients before running to Oakley again, who has just exited the courtroom and is flabbergasted that Jimmy's client had witnesses. Oakley then agrees to commute the sentence. Jimmy encounters Howard Hamlin, who congratulates him on getting his law license reinstated. Howard invites him to have lunch, only to be interrupted when Jimmy spots Erickson leaving a courtroom and follows her down the hall. Now, Howard had told Jimmy that this was going to be HHM's best year yet. Anyway, Erickson refuses to discuss any of Jimmy's 16 cases she is prosecuting until his appointment next week, telling him he's just trying to make as much money as possible by maximizing the turnover of clients before stepping onto an elevator. Lalo asks Nacho how long he's known Domino and whether he has been inside jail before. Nacho replies that he's been family friends for a long time and Domino has not been in jail but will keep his mouth shut. As Lalo Salamanca stares at him, Nacho asks if he wants him to take care of it. However, Lalo replies that he has something much better in mind for Domino, otherwise known as Crazy 8 now. Another day at the courthouse, Jimmy follows Erickson into the elevator, which promptly malfunctions as it begins ascending to the third floor. They both start reading over their case files while waiting, but Jimmy reads off his arguments to himself out loud, prompting Erickson to tell him to stop. He does it again, and she eventually gives in, and they start discussing the plea deals in the cases. In total, they're stuck in the elevator for 20 minutes, and he reminds Erickson of the 3 remaining cases he has with her next week. As Erickson walks down the hallway, Jimmy thanks the elevator repairman for engineering the accident, revealing that Jimmy had planned it all along. Jimmy pays the repairman with an envelope of money and guarantees that the repairman's brother, which Jimmy is representing, will have a clean record. On the street outside the court, Jimmy is talking to his clients on his wireless Bluetooth headset and eating a mint chocolate chip ice cream cone when Nacho and his buddy pull up on the sidewalk. Jimmy greets Nacho as the two have not seen each other for over 2 years, and Nacho orders him to get back into the car. Jimmy tries to enter, but Nacho gestures at the ice cream, which Jimmy unceremoniously drops on the sidewalk. And that's what ends this episode of Better Call Saul. So I'll give the episode an 8.4 out of 10. And my character of the episode, and Jimmy's the character of every episode, but if I had to pick somebody else, on this one, I'm going to go with Nacho, just because of what he did to try to impress Lalo Salamanca to earn his trust. I think Lalo deserves the character of the episode. So you've heard everything that I have to say. Now it's your turn. If you're a fan of Breaking Bad, El Camino, or Better Call Saul, and you want to help me out with the YouTube algorithm, please consider Hulk smashing the like button, share the video with a friend, put this video on any one of your social media platforms. Don't forget to sound off in the comment section about what your thoughts are on this episode of Better Call Saul. What would you rate it? Who would be your character of the episode? And anything else that you want to add? Remember to click right here for my Better Call Saul Season 6 reviews if you want to jump ahead a bit. And click right here for my Breaking Bad reviews, rankings, and everything else. And then last but certainly not least, don't forget to hit that sub button. You're watching the video anyway. Subscribe to the channel, join the team, share your damn support, and be a part of something special. And you never know what you're going to see on JDev TV.